I'm going to also show you in this video how I fry them up with some Italian style panko breadcrumbs from Safeway, and I do it in olive oil because it's much better in olive oil. It's the best oil you can use when you're frying because it's good for your heart. And another thing you'll notice is that I've already got the heads and the guts removed from these fish. That's because I knew I wasn't going to clean them yesterday. And the sooner you remove the guts, the better your fish are going to taste. Actually, that'll be the first thing that causes your fish to go bad, is if you leave them sitting with the guts in their body too long. So as soon as I pulled out of Martin's Beach, I pulled into Pillar Point Harbor, went to the fish cleaning table there, and chopped the heads off, pulled out the guts. Now all I've got to do is fillet them, remove the skin, and then we're going to do some pan frying. And over there on the stovetop, I've got some potatoes that I'm going to eat these with. Okay, so let's fillet ourselves a calico. So we'll start right here, and we work our way up the backbone, and then we go down this way and cut in. Try to keep it close to the backbone so you don't lose too much meat. Then you go down here and you punch it through, and then you just slide it down the backbone, taking all the meat with you, like that. Okay, and then you finish up by making it over the rib cage. Kind of cut through these pin bones here, and then just slide that knife right over like that. And see how nice and easy that came off there? That's a nice fillet. Alright, let's try that on the other side. So, getting close to the spine, and the first pass when you're going through like this and filleting is that you are just going down about 3/4 of an inch or an inch or so, until you get right about halfway where you get past the rib bones, and you punch it through, and then you slide it down like that. Slide it right down the... in case you're wondering what this is a fillet glove. It has Teflon in it. It helps you from getting yourself cut. You can wear them on both hands, or you can wear it like I'm wearing it here on just the hand that is more in danger of getting cut by the knife. If I cut this hand with the knife, then I need to take a knife cutting class, because this is a really nice handle here for holding onto it, and you really should just take your time with it. And always remember, I just sharpened this knife, so if you're using a sharp knife, which is really the only way to go if you're filleting, look at that. That's a meal right there. Okay, this is one of the 12-inch calicos I caught yesterday, and that there is a meal. I'm going to pull the skin off because I'm too lazy to scale them. The skin is good. I mean, the skin on perch, oh, it's tasty, especially when you fry it. It's nice and crunchy. It's got a lot of omega-3s in it, and it's good for you, but I get tired of all that scaling going. I've got one of these scaling, it's like a little scaling tool, and it pulls the scales off pretty easy and everything, but still, it's a lot of extra work. So I just remove the skin, that way I don't have to deal with taking the scales off. So you grab it here, right near the end, not too far near the end, it'll fall right off. And then you kind of punch it through, but don't go all the way, don't go through the skin, because you want to slide across the top of the skin all the way down the fish. Like that. And there you go. There's your skin. There's your nice fillet. Let's do that one more time. And then you remove the pin bones. They're not really that much. I mean, you could leave the pin bones in and just know that when you're eating it that you got to kind of eat around them. But they're not really that bad. I was talking to this guy that was, when I was out Pillar Point Harbor yesterday, I was cleaning the fish with two other fellows. One guy was cleaning a lingcod that he caught off a boat that his friend owns. And the other guy was trying to get some fish scraps because he was going to go set some traps for crabbing off his small little personal boat tomorrow morning, which is actually today. So I guess he went out there today. So I gave him the heads and the guts from my fish. But he was asking me, and I hear this question a lot. People say, aren't perch kind of bony? You know, yeah, well, they got bones in them all right, but I'm never biting into any bones because I'm doing it like this. I'm getting rid of the bones, so I just got meat here, and then all you got to do is remove these pin bones. The pin bones are right about in the middle. If you go down with a knife, you'll feel it kind of crunching a little bit here. And they only go down far enough because they hold, the ribs stop like right about in here. So they hold the ribs in place, or something like that. And then what you do is you go like that, and you chop them right out. You lose a little bit of meat with that, but if you fry this up and you find a bone, then I don't know what to tell you, because there are no bones in that. So the next person that tells you that perch are bony, tell them all you got to do is remove the pin bones. Fillet them and then remove the pin bones. And then you won't have yourself a bony perch. They taste different too. I mean, you got to consider all things. Now, the other thing I wanted to say about chopping the head and removing the guts before you bring it home is that it's a lot less smelly at home when you're doing this than if you got the... Right now, there's hardly any odor in the air. If you've got roommates, a significant other, or family that you're living with, and you remove the head and guts, I think they will appreciate your fishing a lot more than if you remove the guts while you're at home. Because yeah, it's very pleasant. It was a lot smellier in here the last time I was doing this with the heads and the guts still inside the fish. So do yourself and whoever you live with a favor. Also, every time you do this, you just get a little better at doing it. I mean, it's all about practice makes perfect. After a while, you can do it with your eyes closed, watching the football game. I'm not watching the football game right now, but I'm just enjoying a little peace and solitude here, preparing these fish. Oh, one little tip is also you want to remove this little part here, and it makes taking the skin off a lot better. You don't lose too much meat right there, but take that off, and then as you're sliding the knife across, it will go through a lot smoother without that little bump there. There we go. That's a nice fillet. They don't always come out perfect. Can't kick yourself in the head, you know. But like I said, the more you do this, the better you'll get at it. And people love eating these fish fillets. That's when they're thankful to have a fisherman around. When you fry these up, eat them with some rice or some, like I'm going to do today, some potatoes. They are very tasty. And they're good for you. Just realize this is a good way to show you where you need to punch it through when I say that. So when you first start filleting one side, you go down here and you try to get it as close as you can to this spinal rack here. But see right there, see if you tried punching it through when you're up in here, you're going to hit these rib bones. You're going to pull off some of the rib bones with it. But those end right there. And so, boom, right there. If you look at that, that's right about at like the half point on these surf perch. And that's where you punch it through, and then just keep your knife. You'll feel the bone as you're digging down like that. So you want to feel a little bit of the bone and kind of back off of it and take as much of the meat away from the bone as you can. Okay, so here's what we want to do. We want to take this olive oil here, and we want to pour it into our frying pan. Coat the bottom. Done. And then if you've got one of these stoves that the gauge goes from 1 to 10, I try to put it around somewhere around 5.5, somewhere around there. Give it a couple of minutes to get hot. Meanwhile, here's our fish right here. Now what you want to do is you want to just get these things a little bit wet. So you wet them up like that. Italian style panko crispy breadcrumbs from Safeway, and I put them in this Ziploc bag here. And what you do is you take your fillets, throw it in here like that, and shake it up. Gotta move it around like that. Now we've had the oil heating up in the pan over there for a couple of minutes now, so it should be ready to go. And I like a lot of breadcrumbs on my fish. I like them nice and crunchy. It's only going to take a couple of minutes to cook. I can see the oil is already starting to go, so it's ready. It's been about I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. So we'll just take these fillets here, we'll drop them right down in there. Start cooking them. Okay. I'll turn the heat up just a little bit. Go a little bit over the 6 there. Okay, we'll come back to this in a couple of minutes. Here we have our tasty potatoes, which we just cooked up a few hours ago. So we're just going to put a nice little stack of potatoes. I think that is more than enough right there. Meanwhile, back in the frying pan, I use this screen here to help keep this counter from becoming a toxic oil spill. That's what they look like when they're cooking up. You can turn the heat up a little, or turn it down. I mean, there's 100 different ways you can do it, but you can see how it's cooking. Meat's turning white there, looking good. It's been a couple of minutes on that side, so we are going to flip this. Oops. Okay, so much for my spatula job. There we go. And see if we can do this one a little bit better. Okay, so here we go. Take it like that, and we flip it. There we go. That was a little more pretty. Either way, it wasn't pretty. Yeah, another 2 minutes or so. And you can see how these are turned white in here. And they'll be nice and crispy. Don't want to overcook them. I want to get them just right. That is looking mighty fine there. See all that white meat cooking up there? That is going to be delish. You can't get it any fresher than this. And if you buy fish in the store, they don't bleed them out. Not unless they're real big. I'm sure if they pull a 100-pound tuna out of the water, they're going to bleed that out. But when you catch panfish, when they catch panfish and they sell them to the stores, they still got the guts in them. And those guts have been in there for a while. None of the blood's been released. This is the freshest thing you can do. The freshest kind of a meal that you can get right here locally. Especially in December. Okay, and now it's time to put these fish fillets onto the plate. There we go. Nice, tender, fresh, locally caught surf perch fillets. You know, the neat thing about surf perch is I don't see them in the store. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen any of these in a store before. I know I've never seen walleye or silvers in the store. So that's something that you have to go catch in order. I like these little crunchy pieces here. In order to eat this, you have to go catch it. Calico, I don't think I've seen calico. Redtail, I've seen sea perch before. I'm not even sure what species it was that they caught from a boat. But surf perch, they live in their own little area, and those fishing boats can't come up close to catch them. So that's what makes these very special. And they're healthy to eat. According to the Department of Fish and Game, you don't have to worry about these carrying too many toxins. They say you could eat them a couple times a week and you'll be fine. I mean, I eat them once a week, so I think I'm good. We're going to sit down and have dinner now.